Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. So, guys, we welcome everyone to the PowerBI with SQL V2 live session. And today we have our instructor Abid here. So, before starting the session, I request everyone to please set your chat setting default to meeting group chat and also stay on mute until and unless that you have a doubt. Okay. And also, like whenever the instructor is asking something, a question, so you can respond over the chat box. So, because too many of you people unmute at the same time because interrupt the session as well as the instructor can't able to understand what you are about to convey. So use the public chat for any queries or anything. Use it. So still the students were joining. So let's wait for 5 minutes and then we'll begin the session. Will that be okay? Can I get some response in the chat box? Okay. Okay, let's wait for 5 minutes and then we'll begin the session.
All right, I see a lot of you are here already. Ravi, shall we start?
Yeah, Abid.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me loud and clear? All right, so let us begin with the session. We had to do a few functions from last week. That is these text column tools, number column tools, and date column tools. That is where we will start from. I am going to use the retail sales data set. So we had to do from here. I know we started split column and all that, but let's still do it again, okay? Everything in text column tools, number column tools, and date column tools. Okay, we will do these now. Let's start with the split columns. In the customers table, if you see, there's a full name of the customer. I want to split those based on a given delimiter. What's a delimiter? Delimiter is a separator. Do you remember we did this merge columns? We did something called as merge columns. We did not do merge query. Merge queries is different and merge columns is different. Merge column is when I want to merge these two columns. Email and phone number, we wrote them together. Similarly, in this, when I'm working on these columns, let's say I want to split them. I want to split this into a first name and last name. You will click on, in the text column tool, you have split column. You can do it by delimiter. When you do it by delimiter, you can select what is your, um, the delimiter or the separator. So here you can select any of these. You can also add a custom delimiter if the delimiter you want to use is not here. Okay, so I want to use space only here because between first name and last name, there's only space that I want to use. After that, where should it separate? At the leftmost delimiter? What if the delimiters are present multiple times in that string? It's possible, right? It is possible that it is present multiple times. So, where should it separate? At each occurrence of the delimiter or the rightmost or leftmost delimiter, you can select that. And you want to split into columns of rows. How many columns should it split into? That is all one thing. I'll just tell you first with this and then tell you what does quote character do. Now I'm going to give it, I'm just going to split this so it's split it into two. What will happen in case of quote character? Let's say in the first name, let's say this full name. Okay. And here it is. If it is given like this. Okay. Now, the delimiter, the space delimiter is between these also. The first and the middle name also, there is a delimiter. But let's say I don't want to separate them. I want to add both as first name and this will be the last name. So in that case, you will use that quote character. First name, although the delimiter is there, it will not be separated. It's not usually used for names. There won't be any quotes in the names. But let's say if there are a few sentences, a description of something, and something is given and quotes in that. In that particular case, it will not remove, it will not separate those, with quotes. So it doesn't happen with names usually, who writes names with the quotes, right? But anything like a sentence or something you have, you can separate it like this. That is what that quote character will be used for. And this is how we would split column. We did this last week. So everybody remembers split column? Is it clear? Now in this split column, there are many other things also. By number of characters, split it after these many numbers. By positions, after how many positions do you want to separate it? You can also separate it by lowercase to uppercase. If in a given name, it won't be names all the time, right? It can be big sentences that I want to replace. Let me open some other data set as well. This will be a different file. I'll just this is a different data set. This is not retail sales data set. And there are a lot of errors and empty values in this. So probably I can show you using this. So here in this, if you see, look at this column called as not cast. Let's go to this listed in. This column, if you see, you have different genres of that particular movie. Okay. Now, because there are multiple genres given in each, I'll not be able to classify these movies. This is some Netflix data, I mean, something similar to Netflix. And there I have multiple genres. So I want to separate them as primary genres, secondary genres, and any other tertiary, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So I want to separate it, but I want primary genres to be separate. For that, you can select it and I'm going to split it. You can do it with delimiter. When I'm doing it with delimiter, I'll use comma. When I'm doing with the uppercase to lowercase to uppercase. So, okay, there is no such, that's why I did not separate. Let's separate with the delimiter only here and I'll show you that it'll be separated into multiple columns this time, not just one. No, Priyanka, we will do SQL. What we'll do is we will connect Power BI to SQL and then we will learn how to take SQL databases into Power BI to use it and do basic SQL queries as well. Okay. All right. Now coming back to this. Here, if you see, it is separated into multiple columns this time. So now I can rename it into this primary genre and I can use it. So that's one particular use of splitting the columns. With only the names and all that, it's not easy to understand it. But when you have a data set like this, which is absolutely a mess, that's when you can use it to clean all this. I'll share this with you. I'll get it added to the LMS. I won't share it right away, but I'll get it added to the LMS. Don't worry. So there are a lot of discrepancies in this. You need to replace this. You remember we used replace last week. So you can replace these unknown values to something probably. So here the blank values are, we don't know the director of this particular movie. So I want to replace it with unknown. So all such things you can do with this. Um, this is something you can use as homework probably. Okay, right now. So what I'll do, that split column is done. Let's go to format. Now in the format, fill up, fill down. Yes, you can use fill up, fill down also. But in that case, Anil, when do you use fill up, fill down when it can be categories kind of data, right? When you have different categories of movie. But the problem with that data set is that's a movie and director, a film title and director column, right? So let's say, do you think I can fill down or fill up for category for directors also? I mean, this is where we have to think logically because the directors of the movies, I cannot just fill up or fill down. That is a fact, right? It will change the fact if I'm filling up or filling down there. So in that case, you can just replace it with some value, maybe unknown or NA, write something in that. If you do not know the director, or find out the director and enter the value there. Because it is a fact and it is not a good idea to just fill up or fill down in that. So I would replace that with unknown maybe. But fill up and fill downs, filled only value is null. Exactly. That's what I was saying. So for that one, if we do fill up and fill down, it's not a good idea. Also, it wouldn't work. So that's why whenever there are blank values, you can simply replace. So what you'll do, you'll click on this and here you will leave everything, you leave it blank and you replace it with some value. It replaces those null values, empty cells. Can we clean the data in Power BI SQL easily? Shaurya, we will discuss about SQL when we do it in SQL, but I would say Power BI because you are not writing any query here. You're not writing any code, isn't it? I'm just selecting the options that are given and it is doing its work. So don't you think this is easier? Yeah. Okay. Now, okay, let's use the next one that is format. So I want to change everything to uppercase, everything in this to uppercase. So I'll use format and click on uppercase. Everything will be converted to uppercase, all the characters. Here you can format it to all the characters to lowercase. Split the rows, okay? Rajiv, I would want to know what exactly do you mean by splitting rows? Because what we are doing here, this is specifically column functions, right? We are splitting them into different columns. And if you want to split in rows, I'm just thinking of a use case that you can. But there will be use cases. If I think of one, I'll tell you, you can do it, but there's no function like this that you can do for that. These are functions that are already available, inbuilt functions in Power BI, which we are learning right now. We'll be able to do those, but probably by I'll show it to you how it's done. There's no direct column function. Like how you have column function, you don't have row functions like that. Row functions were only those that we could do over here. Count rows, reverse rows, transpose, first row as header. Those are the row functions. These are column-wise functions. Lower case is done. Capitalize each word is only the first character will be capitalized. Of each word, first character will be capitalized. So in this payment mode, if you see there are two different words, right? I'll first turn everything into lowercase. Now in this, for this, if you see, there is net banking. I want to convert first character of each to uppercase, right? So now if you notice, first character of each will be changed to uppercase. That is used for capitalize each word. These three were pretty simple. Lowercase, uppercase, capitalize each word. Right? Now we can use trim. When we use trim, what happens here, you may not be able to understand that, but I'll show you exactly what it does. If there are spaces in the beginning and in the ending, leading and trailing spaces, spaces in the beginning and spaces in the ending. In that case, if I want to remove those, I'll be using trim. Yes, removing the white spaces, but not from between. Only those which are there in the beginning of the string and in the ending of the string. They are called as leading and trailing spaces. It will remove the leading and trailing spaces. That is what this is used for. Did you understand? But in this, again, we don't have that in any of these. But what you can do, you'll just click on that and you will select trim. That will remove those spaces. I'm just looking for a column if it has it. Can we do the same if we have leading zeros? No, this is only for spaces. Leading, trailing spaces only. Zeros, when you're saying, are you talking about those non-printable characters? Non-printable characters, okay, not like that. I'll show you something now. When we do anything in programming languages, right? When we are entering values in programming languages. So what happens in that case? Let's say if I'm entering a sentence and if I want to give something in the next line, I'll give this backward slash n and I'll give it like this. So when it has to print, how will it print? It will print it in the next line. Okay. So this is one of the characters which is added to move the next part of the string into in the next line, remaining part of the string into the next line. So this is a character which will help you move the next remaining characters of the given string into the next line. Similar to that, there will be some other characters also that will be there. There will be something called as, you will see some things like this T, and when we input data, okay, at that time these characters you will find there, and I want to remove such characters. Okay, again, in our example those characters are not there, but just to make sure that if they are there, they will be removed. They cannot be printed in our output. Okay, these will not be printed in the output. You won't see these, but when the data is being entered, it will be there. Okay, input will be this and output will be this. When I'm entering values, it will be like this. I'll be giving this backward slash nn. So the output would look like this. Another example would be, let's say if I have a name, for example. Okay, but what will it print in the output? It will print only this in the output. Okay, input will be this, print in the output will be this. What will clean do? Clean will remove these non-printable characters. There is clean here. Okay, if there are any non-printable characters, it will remove those. So when we trim, we also use clean along with that, so that if there are any such, it will not cause any issues for our later when we want to create the graphs, it will not cause any issues there. Okay, because they are non-printable, you will not be able to see them in the output, but when they are being entered, if the values are there, they will be there. So we are just removing those. Did you understand clean? It will not remove data, project. Yes. See, not at. At is not one of those. I gave you the examples, right? You have things like when anything with these backward slash, N, T, R, such things, such will be the non-printable. They are used for printing, when we enter this data, when we are extracting the data, when we extract this data from anywhere, this is how the data might be printed. Okay, or this is how the data, we are using these to input our data in the given database. So you will have characters like these. N will be for moving it to next line, and changing tabs, having it in different. Why is this trim needed? What's the problem with the spaces? Spaces will take up storage space, right, Sushma? Also, in case, wouldn't that become very, let's say when we are counting characters, let's say, or when we are doing any string related analysis, in that case, it will take up more values. It will give us more values there, right? So let's say if this is the name. How many characters are there in your name, Sushma? 6 in your first name. Now, if I count these, it won't be 6, right? 7, 8, 9, 10. If I count the length of this, it will give me 10, and it will take up that much space. For every character we enter, each character requires some storage space, right? And why would we want that extra space to be taken? Also, when we are printing, when we are creating any visualizations and all that, in the output, let's say if any uh, mostly we won't give the names in any charts, but let's say if there are any categories or anything with these spaces in that, then the output doesn't look good, and it takes more space. There will be non-printable characters as a list. Um, Not the forum. You should always go to the documentation, by the way. Do not go to discussions and forums. Okay. They're not mentioned here, but it is mostly these. So how do you recognize them? With these? Okay. This might mess up with the visuals that we are creating. So that's the reason we clean them. There's no such list. That's what I'm saying. I thought there was a list, but there is no list in that. I'll try to add it. Okay. So I'll add it, and it will be there in your class notes also. You can go through. However, if there is a specific list I find, I'll add those. So it is used to clean. That's all that you use to clean. Now let's see what is prefix and suffix. What is prefix and suffix? Meaning of the word prefix and suffix. I'm not talking about something in Power BI. Meaning of the word prefix and suffix. Before and after, before the string and after the string. Yes, before the main word. Like I may want to add doctor, Mr., Miss, anything, right? Those are prefixes. Or let's say in the products, I have different product IDs. For this, I want to add a few characters in the beginning. That is prefix. But these are numbers. Let's say if there are, you can, however, add prefixes to these also because these are IDs, right? We are not calculating them. Anything that you calculate, for that, we won't add prefix or suffix. But in this case, we can add to the customer IDs. Maybe like for your student IDs, your students' IDs will have S in the beginning. Similarly, for this, I may want to add a C here. So I can add prefix. What is the prefix that I want to add here? Now, do you see? You have added a prefix, something in the beginning. All right. Possibly for phone numbers also. Let's say if this code was not given, right? +91 was not given. But since these are all Indian numbers, that will be the same prefix for all of them. So in that case, we can add +91. This will also be your prefix. And for suffix, I'm just seeing. In which one can I add a suffix? Oh, that's great. But if we add it to that, Rishma, we won't be able to calculate. In case of money, here in this unit cost and all that, when we are adding all these prefix suffix, we have to be careful. Because see, if it is amount or if it is any transaction like thing, money or scores, for such things, if we add a suffix or prefix, that will be converted to a character, a string, and then we won't be able to calculate it. I would want to know what is our total revenue. I would want to know how much products do we have, all those things. So when it is where the column which we might want to calculate, let's not make any change to that. Okay. Um, let's add anything. Okay, so let me add for this one. I'm going to add a suffix. Suffix is towards the end we add. Probably I just want to add something that it is new. Okay. So suffix will add it towards the end. Yes, that is correct, sweetie. We can add it. We can add Mr. and Mrs. But the problem with this is how will it identify which is Mr. and which is Mrs. or which is Miss? For that, we are going to create some conditional logic. When we create some conditional logic, I can specify that wherever there is male, write it as Mr. Wherever there is female, write it as Miss. Right? So based on that, I can do it. But when we do conditional columns, I'll show it to you. When we add column, we'll be able to add conditional columns. I'll show it to you then. You can do that also, however. Okay, that is for prefix and suffix. That is your. So we're done with these ones. Are we clear with all these? In city also we can add India as suffix. Yes, you can do that, Damini. Are we clear with all these? Pretty simple, right? Something we would do normally, but we are just learning how to do it using Power BI. So the logic is clear and this is also clear to all of you. There is another one, merge columns. We know what is merge columns used for? We've used merge columns before. So let me use, because it's there here as well. It's the same thing. You can merge it. Separator, I need a space. So just give it the name as full name. Combining two columns, that's all. It was merged only, I separated it and now I'm merging it back. That's what it's used for. Extract. So from the given characters, so here if I look at the first name, I want to know what is the length of that. Oh. What I'll do, I'll duplicate this column and for that I'll give the length. This is giving me how many characters are there in this. Okay. Now if this had any spaces, leading and trailing spaces, any extra values, okay, those non-printable characters. For all of those things, I would have needed to, I would have got some extra values here in the length. If the exact characters here are 13, include the space in between, by the way. The space that's there in between them, that is also counted when we find the length. Length is just the number of characters. Okay? That will give us the length of all the characters. Do you want some time to try all these that we did? Split column we did last week, right? Do you want to try the format and extract? What I'll do, I'll finish all these extract and then I'll give you some time to work on it. I'll give you some questions which you can use. Okay. Now after this, what else can you do here? This was the length, that is the number of characters. After this, I also want to extract. Okay, let me create a duplicate of this queries only. And then here, In this one, let's extract. Let's use all the extract features and see. It'll extract the first character. How many characters? How many starting characters do we want? Let's say 2. I want to extract first 2 characters. It will extract first 2 characters only. Let's try some others also. I want to extract, okay, I'll remove this. And then we'll extract the last characters. How many last characters do you want to extract? This will extract only the last characters. If any of the steps, if you think you're not able to understand, feel free to ask me. Okay? You can give a range of characters. From where to how many characters. Now here when it is asking for, it's not asking for given the starting index and ending index. Do you know what our index is? Now if this is the character, so A is for 1, B 2, I 3 and so on, that is index. Now if I want to print the last 5 characters, that is I want to print this. Okay, in that case, what will I do? I will provide the index, the starting index. So the starting index, what is the index of u here? What is the index value of u in this? 5. So I'll write 5. Starting index is 5. And then number of characters we have to write. We don't have to give the last index value. Okay, what is the last index value here? 10. That's 10. But I don't want to do that. What will be here? What is it asking for in this? It's asking for number of characters. So what do we write after 5? How many characters should it print? It should print 5. Right? It should print 5 characters. Starting from this, let's say I want to start from the first character only. Print the next 5 characters. Okay? Or let's also include this. Let's give a range. Okay? Sure, yeah. You saw it starts from 0. Okay, I just wanted to show that. So it doesn't start with 1 in this, it starts with 0. In SQL, indexing starts from 1. In this Power BI, it starts from 0. In Python also, it starts from 0. So this is indexing starting from 0 and we printed the next so many characters. You won't be able to give that -1. Negative index does not work here. Himachandan. Okay. What else can we do in extract? This now text before delimiters. In this, do you see there's a column called as email? In that, there are a few characters that separate the strings, right? You see at here. I want to extract everything before at. At is there here? At the rate of, I want to extract everything before that. I'm considering that at as the delimiter. Text before delimiter. We have to decide which is our delimiter. What is a delimiter? Something that separates the texts. So if I write at, I'll get everything before at. I'll first give you this. After that, we'll understand this also. Do you see? Before at. Yes, Kaushik, these are important. What are we doing in this here in Power Query Editor? We are preparing our data, cleaning the data. After we clean the data, there could be some other requirements. So those requirements, we are going to do it in DAX. So that also we will start. If we finish this as soon as possible today, then we have to start DAX also today itself. So I'll tell you the difference between Query Editor and DAX then. In both, you will actually find out that you are doing the same steps, but here you are cleaning the data before uploading. In Power Query Editor, you're cleaning the data before uploading it. This can be easily, you can call it as an ETL step. This data is uploaded on the LMS, Pooja. However, I'll send it to you here. Okay. Did you understand extract before delimiter? No, Janvi. We are not cleaning in DAX. Cleaning is only in query editor before you upload the data. It's like, consider it like before cooking, we prepare the vegetables, cut the vegetables and all that. That is your query editor. After the food is prepared, we probably need to add a few things for garnish. That's your DAX. So now here, extract before delimiter. Now I also want to extract after delimiter. Let's look at the phone number. I want to extract after delimiter. What's the delimiter? I'll give this as the delimiter. Everything after that will be extracted. Okay, that is extract between two delimiters also if I want, let's say. There was something in products, right? Between two delimiters, everything between those. Let's see what happens if I'm using this one. Extract text between two delimiters, start delimiter, and delimiter is also this. Okay, so it will just do it from the, for the first one. Let's try to see. From the start of the input, from where should it start? Are there any delimiters that it should skip? Scan for the end delimiters from the start delimiter towards the end delimiter. All these options you can select. Any delimiters do we want to skip? Here what it does is, if you are noticing, if I'm giving it directly text between delimiters and I'm giving these two delimiters, what is it finding for us? It's only finding for us for the first one, for the first between the two delimiters that we are getting. What to do with, what do delimiter? Delimiters are separators, sweetie. Any strings that you have, there will be separators in between them. There will be separators, right? Separators are like spaces, or separators are like commas, or any character which separates the string. Example. So there are three words in this. The separator is space. Here the separator is comma. That is delimiter. Okay, that's used for extracting. Did you all understand what is there in extract? Did everybody understand what is there in extract? Right. Parsing is if we are just adding any characters from these, but we don't have examples for that. Okay, we won't be able to do that. So again, this is, if there are any, we don't have any such tests, any Excel, XML or JSON formatted text. This will be, I'll tell you what format is JSON. It's like, JSON format will be like, it'll be like a dictionary. How do you see things in dictionary? For example, it's written as like this. Okay. Explain text between delimiter. Okay, I'll explain it again. Key value pair, exactly, Vivek. It will be like these. And if I want to parse characters from that, I'll be using that. But in our data, it's not there. However, If this kind of data is present, in that case, we will use those parse. This is the JSON format. I mean, just an example I'm giving you. Okay, key value pairs will be there in this. Text between delimiter. Here, have a look at this, Sairam. So let's say I have given let's do it in this only. Okay, let's say you have an email here. You have the email column, and in there are two different delimiters. What are the two different delimiters? At is there, dot is there. So for example, if I have different IDs, if I want to extract the domain, okay, if I want to extract the domain from the given strings, I want to extract all the given domains. So what should I do? I should extract all the characters between at and dot. That's how it is there in any email ID if we are using. So let's say I have this. Only an example I'm giving you. So here, for this also it will be the same. Or I want to extract all the domains from all the email IDs. So what will I do? I'll use text between delimiters. The starting delimiter will be at and the ending delimiter will be dot. So everything between at and dot will be extracted. Here it will be example for this. This one will also be example. This will be Gmail and this will be Outlook. Let's see how do we do this here. So click on this email, extract text between delimiters. Starting delimiter at, end delimiter dot. Everything in between that. Do you understand now, Sairam? If both delimiters are same is also fine. I extracted in products using those only, right? In the product name, if both delimiters are same, that is also fine. You can give both the delimiters as same. Okay, so we did a few string functions now, the text column functions. You already have the data set. This is already there on the LMS also. However, if you want, I'm sharing it here. Okay, this is the data set. Size. Parse is used in programming language. Does it similar in Power BI? Yes. If I just hover over this, have a look. Isn't it, does parse in programming language also does not do the same thing? It will parse the JSON file and it will give you readable key value pairs, right, Bharat? That's exactly it is giving you. It will give you here also.
Yeah, Abid, I have a query on this pass. Actually, in any programming language, C, either C++,
Mm-hmm.
we are going to change the data type, right? If so something is in a different format string, we can make it as int.parse or something. We are going to maintain the quoted in quoted columns like we used to do. That is something is different.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
asking. So the pass is something like, as per my understanding, like in program level, majorly they are going to use to change the data type. Like it is something float or something they might to change into int dot parse or something they are going to maintain over there. In double quotes column, they are going to mention the keyword or something. Does it
Mm-hmm.
seems to be similar within Power BI, which is something is different because key value pair is something different, right? It is going to give an key and value.
Yes. It will just
I just
split.
want to understand the kind of
Mm-hmm.
concept. It is something is similar or a different one.
It here, let's say, um, I'll give you an example. If there is any file, is
I
there
hope
any?
you understand my query, right?
Yes, I understood it.
Thank you.
So even when it is given like that in it, how do I put it? In this case, see, in this you will have a column here, right? All the values in that. It will just, parsing in this is just like separating or splitting only. If I'm trying to put it in that way, it will do the same thing. It will separate a part of it in this one. So for example, if it is, like how we are doing it in splitting, that is how I would say it is separated. Just with the spaces and all that, you're going to parse it. It's just
So it will
separating
trim the
only.
spaces, extra spaces.
Yes.
Okay, okay, got it.
Supriya asks, we want entire text in products if we have multiple delimiters. You will provide from where should it start and where should it end. Here, in this, we added something, right? For this purpose, like you are mentioning, if both the in this one, if you want the entire products with multiple delimiters. Now you are asking for, you have multiple delimiters like these. You want this COU, you want this 101 both. Is that what your question is, Supriya? For that, why don't we use split? Don't you think split will be better option for that instead of extract? If I use split and if I give this, so you're getting it all, isn't it? So in that case, use split. You're getting from beginning to end, isn't it? You want to remove that delimiter and get all the characters, is what you're saying? Okay, for that we will use conditional column. We'll create a column from this and we will use conditional column. What we are doing right now, this is exact whatever is provided. Okay, using whatever is already inbuilt. You can write some functions, that is give some conditional columns, that wherever there is this hyphen, remove it, then we can give that also. Okay, we will do it as we go ahead, but in this there is no such thing. If you want to remove those delimiters and add it into separate columns, you can do it. Between text between those delimiters, if you want that, we can extract. But for the rest, like you're mentioning, you want everything, just removing those delimiters, that we will do in a while. Okay, we'll pause here for a while. Let's go for a break. We'll do the number column and date column functions after the break. Okay, yes, Vivek, we can do that as well. Just that multiple steps. There is no direct function to do that. Okay. Ravi, let's go for a break.
Yeah, Abid, sure. Yeah. Okay, guys, let's go for a short 10 minutes break and we'll continue the session after the break. Okay, guys, welcome back from the short break. So I hope everyone are back from the break. Yeah, okay. Okay, Abid, over to you.
Thank you, Ravi. We'll go to the number column tools now. In the number column tools, any calculation that you can perform on any of the columns. Now, I cannot perform calculations on these. I can perform calculation on these, but if you look at this product ID, do you think it will be of any use if I sum up all of these? Will I get any insightful information if I add up all the product IDs? Or if I find the average of all the product IDs? Minimum, maximum? No, right? It's of no use for me. I can do that because it's a number, but then no important information. Instead of that, if I add up all the unit costs here, will it not give me probably, okay, I don't have the quantity, but will it not give me the total price of all the products that I have? More useful than that is this total amount that I have received from the customers. If I add up all this, I'll get to know how much money did I earn till today. From the beginning, since I started selling the products, till now, how much money did I earn? Right? So that information is important. Maybe I want to multiply unit price with quantity and get each sales total amount. That is also important. So such columns, or maybe I want to add up all the quantities and find out how many total products did I sell till now. This information is important. But if I just add up any IDs and all that, that's not important for me. That is something we have to understand when we know about the data types. I know the data type is number here. I know the data type is number here also. But if you notice between quantity and product ID, if I add up quantity, it's useful for me. I can multiply quantity with some other unit price to get the total amount of this, right? But if I multiply product ID with customer ID, it's useless. This is something you have to understand. Same thing goes with contact numbers. Same thing goes with postal codes. Any ID. Remember that when we are performing any numeric functions. Just because it is a number, I wouldn't prefer doing any numeric column tools on that. Now coming to this, let's understand how this works. I'm going to just select this total amount. In the statistics, you have all these. These are called as aggregate functions, or in this case, statistics, it's mentioned as sum. What will sum do? What will sum do? Add up everything in the total amount. Like how count will give me only one value. Same thing, this will also give me only one value here. Because we are adding up everything there, it should give me only this, right? So it will give you one value. And again, I can also find out or probably I want to find out the least of those minimum payment that we have received. You can also get the maximum payment. What is median? Any idea what is the meaning of median? You all have done statistics. So what is median? Middle term. Do we need to do any other step before selecting the middle term? Middle value? Sorting. It is important that you sort, not average, Nazir. Sort. You will sort them in ascending order and then you will give the middle value from that when you use median. That's the step. Yes. So just change it to median. When you want the median, it will arrange it into ascending. This is direct function, right, Monica? It's inbuilt function. But what is it doing, the inbuilt function? We need to know that, isn't it? If I'm clicking on average, it will give me the average. But shouldn't we know the formula of average so that we know what are we using it for? What is average? Count sum of values by number of values. Is that average? Average is not sum. Average is sum of values, sum of all the values in the given column divided by count of all the values. That will be your average. That's how you do it. Yes, total sum to total values. That is all about these. So similarly, there are different things for standard deviation. Uh, this will just give you the variation. Standard deviation is just like a variation only. So where you get the difference between their values. You must have done standard deviation in statistics also. What does standard deviation do? There is variation, there is variance that you find out, there is standard deviation. Spread, exactly, variance from values, exactly. So if you know variance, then based on that, the standard deviation is also there. Again, you can find out, yes, how deviated it is from the mean. That's a very good way to put it. Exactly. So you can just find out that also. Next is count values. Count values will give you the number of values. Now, count values, can I perform count values on any other column other than numbers? We can do it, right? Only count is a function which you can do. It's a numeric function also, but this is something you can perform on any non-number column also. This will help you count the number of values, that's all. So in this case, if I perform it on product IDs, I'll get the total number of values in that particular column. When I'm doing count values, look at the difference between both of them. Have a look. I'm taking product ID. Okay. Do you agree with me? This is not a products table. This is a sales transaction table. So do you agree with me that each product could have been sold multiple times? So there will be repeated orders in this. Do you see 106, 106, 106? A lot of people are buying 106. A lot of people are buying 108. 111. That is also what a lot of people are buying. So if I select this product ID column and if I do the count only, do you see there are two different things, count distinct and count. If I'm counting, it will simply give me the number of rows. But if I am doing count distinct values, it will give me all the distinct, not repeated values. So do you see the value is different? There are only 20. Out of those 20 only, they are all repeated. So do you understand? Difference between count and count distinct. It is counting rows only, right? Yes, we did count rows. It is similar to that. But count rows will not remove any, what do you say, duplicate values. If you want to remove those duplicate values, it will, you have to use count distinct. I'm just showing with the null values. Somebody asked me to do it with the null values. So in this retail data set, I don't have null values. Probably from next week or from tomorrow only, we'll use a different data set because this does not have enough values for me to show you the options. These are the null values. If I count them, it will include null values. Okay. This will include null values, Vivek. By default, it includes null values. If I do it with group by, it may not include those null values. Okay. By default, if I'm just counting them, it will include those. That is about the null values. What else is there in this? Standard. What does this do? I want to perform basic math operations. Enter a number to add to each value in the column. So now, let's say I want to increase the unit price or probably to the total amount I want to give them some discount, right? I want to give them some discount from this. So I can perform any calculation on this. Maybe I want to, if I want to give them 50% discount on this, 50% I'm saying, can I divide it by 2? The total amount column. So I want to give them 50% discount. I'll create a new column, duplicate column I'll create, and in this I'll perform that. So to the each row, each value in the given total amount column, I want to add, multiply, subtract, divide. Do we know all these arithmetic operations? So if I want to divide it by 2, it will give me 50%. So if it, where is my total amount column? I'll take it beside that. Now here, if you see, this is the actual total amount. This one is divided by 2. The same one, if I multiply it by 2, what will happen? Not multiplied by 2. It will give you double the price, right? So if I multiply it, again, it comes back to this. What am I doing here? I'm just showing you different arithmetic operations that you can do. You all are aware of it, but I'm just showing you how it works. Any column you can do it. You want to increase the unit price of each product. You can do that also. I want to increase the unit price of each product. You can do that also. That is what your all of these are using. Do you know what is modulus? Do you all know what is modulus? When we divide it by, it gives the remainder. For those who do not know, when you normally divide, you get the quotient in the output, right? When we are normally using divide, you get the quotient in the output. When I use modulus, it will give me the remainder. For example, if I want to find out all the even numbers from this, so even product IDs. Doesn't make any sense finding out even product IDs, but for the sake of explaining how modulus works, I want to find out only the even values. I'll just use modulus. Or let me create a duplicate so we understand. Enter a number which to find the remainder to each value in the column. All those wherever you are seeing zeros, right? These are even numbers. When I'm dividing it by 2 and I'm getting 0 as the remainder, those are even numbers. Okay, so you can consider, what are we getting here? These are the remainders. Instead of getting the quotient, you are getting the remainder. Somebody mentioned no, that you don't understand modulus. Is it clear? Instead of when we divide it normally, when we divide any number normally, it gives us the quotient, but I want the remainder in the output. We know the parts when we divide, right? We know what is quotient, we know what is remainder, dividend, divisor, we know all of it. So the quotient is what we get when we divide. Remainder is when we use modulus. %% off. What is it giving? What do you think? What is the difference between percentage and % off? Both of us are going to give the percentage, but what will be there in the output when I use percentage and % off? Any idea? What's the difference? Just try to explain it in English, irrespective of Power BI. Just any calculation when you do, when we do this 10% off, 20% off a given. Yes, 15% is different from 15% of that. Yes, can you explain it to me? For specified value, percentage is the value that considered percent is a part. Yes, percentage is a value. How much did you score? I scored 80% in the test. I scored 90%. I scored 95%. That is what percentage is, right? Now, percent off. Like somebody mentioned, if we are talking about giving discount, this much discount that we are giving, 20% of 500. What is 20% of 500? 500 is the amount of some product. I am giving discount of 20% on that. How much should they get it? Or 20% of 300. How much should they get? How much should they pay? Yes. Percent of gives us percent values from a certain value. Exactly. So the same thing, the same difference is there in these also. Let me remove this. I'll rename them. This will be percent. And this will be percent off. And let's see the difference when I do it. Percentage. I'll give the same for both. Okay. Percentage and percent off. We all understood the difference between percent and percentage and percent off. That's exactly what these are giving. Statistics and standard. In statistics, you have all the aggregate functions. In standard, you have all the arithmetic operations. Are these both clear to everybody? Remember one thing, all these calculations when we are doing, you can perform on all numerical columns, but the output should make sense. Remember that when we are adding with ID or anything, it wouldn't make much of a difference to us. Yes, counting may help, but the others not much. So let's say the total amount, again, I want to do something. So the scientific here is absolute value. What's the absolute value? If it's a negative, it will give you the positive value of that. That's absolute value. If it's a negative value, minus 100, absolute value of that is 100. Okay, Nazia? If it's minus 50, absolute of that is 50. No, that we cannot do here. Sorry. We can do it in case of DAX. Okay, for a specific value if we want to do, we can do it with DAX. Here, we are only cleaning our data, if you remember. If any such thing is given, so let's say maybe I am giving discount for every product that I'm selling all the time, and I'm going to use the data set like that. That's when I will clean it. This Power Query editor, we are cleaning. Filter kind of thing. What you are doing, asking me to do is, I want to apply a filter. Wherever the values are more than 200, probably apply it to that. Those are filter kind of conditions. We can create a column and we can add a filter like that. I'll show it to you. But in this, if I want to apply it only to a few, for the rest of them, I don't want to. That we cannot do in this. We can do that using DAX. When we start DAX, we will do it. Does that answer your question, Sai? If decimal, they're also the same thing, Nazia. Absolute is converting the minus value to plus. Just giving the plus positive value of what negative you have there. Okay. What else can we do here? We will. Okay. These, all the scientific operations. You have power. What is this power used for? Exponents? Square. Square of a given value. What the square of a given value is? So let's say if I have I have 50 square. What will this be? 50 into 50, right? If it is 50 cube, 50 into 50 into 50. If it is 50 to the power of 4, 50 into 50, 4 times. That is what these are, power if we are saying. So all these you can do it here using this one. So if I say, let's apply that to the quantity. Power square, we'll just square all the values. Cube, we'll just cube all the values. Multiply it 3 times. Multiply the same value with itself 3 times. And then you can also specify a number by yourself. Square, cube. Apart from that also, if you want to use any other number, you can do it. Each number to the power of 5. Okay? That is also what you can do. Now, square root. What is square root? Let's put it this way. Square root of 25. 5. Give me a moment. I'll log back into this. Okay. Square root of 25 is that. Square root of 49. Right? So we know what square root exactly does. Does everybody know what does square root do now? Square root of 2500. Yeah, 50. Right? So that's what it's used for. Same thing. Let's just do there. Square root of, I'll do it on these product IDs. Again, not very useful, but just to understand that. Okay? Square root of this. Quantity also you can do the square root of. Where's the quantity? This one. Okay? That's for square root. Logs and factorial. Do you know what's a factorial, by the way? If it's 5 factorial, what will that be? 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Exactly. That's what factorial is. All those you can perform. I am very bad at this math, so logs, if you know how to do log, this is also what you can do here. Okay, so factorial, I know exponents and all these are something very simple. Log, don't expect me to explain, but if you know what log is, you can do it. Or do you want me to explain? I'll have to figure it out myself first, but these are all some calculations that you can do. Are these clear, these three? statistics, this arithmetic operators, and this scientific. Is it clear? Are these three clear? Trigonometry also, when I told you log is difficult for me, same goes for trigonometry. But we do remember all these. I remember these doing it in school probably. Sine, cos, tan, all these things. So these values also, if you know how to calculate them, these are just inbuilt functions already available. You don't have to do the calculation by yourself. You can select the value and you can do it. Okay, return the sign of the selected items, cosine of the selected item, tan, all those things. Rounding is something we need to understand. Okay, now in this, if you see the percentage, when we calculated the percentage here, it gave us some decimal values. Okay, now for this, if I'm rounding, there are three things: round up, round down, and round. Let's understand those. Let's say if I have 50.89. If I have to pay someone 50.89, or let's say if you have to pay 50.89 to someone, how much would you want to pay? Would you pay 50.89? You'll pay 51. Okay. If it is 50.20, what will you do? How much will you pay? 50. What are we doing? We are rounding off values here. Okay. But you people are good that you all are paying, if it's 50.89, you are paying 51 because you people are good. But I'll still pay 50 only. So if I want something like this, there is something called as round down. Okay. And if it is 50.2 and somebody else is paying to me, I'll collect 51 from them. So round will not work this way. I can use something called as round up. You understand the difference between round, round down, and round up. Round will just round it off to the nearest integer. Round down, if the value is towards the higher value also, it will round it down to the lower value. If it is round up, even if it is 50.24, it will round it up. What should it do if it is 50.5? If it is nearest value. If it has to round it off to the nearest value, what should be 50.5? 51 only. Yes. Anything more than 5.5, it will just round it up to the nearest value. That's correct, Sairam. So here, let's try to do it on this percentage. Round up, we'll round it off towards the upper value. Let's create a column with this, okay, a duplicate column. And let's keep both of them side to side. So do we have floor? Floor is round down, ceiling is round up. Okay, it's the same as that. Floor is round down and ceiling is round up. Here, if I'm rounding up, it will give you towards the higher value, 525, 162. If I'm, okay, I'll remove this and I'll do it. Round down, rounding towards the lower value. Yes, we can do that. I'll show it to you. I want to keep certain decimal values. So let's say when I'm doing round, it will round it off to the nearest value. But Vivek, I think this is what you're talking about. I want to keep 2 decimal places, right? So you can do that. Out of all these many numbers, I want to keep 2 decimal places. I can do that. How will I do? I'll click on round and it will ask me how many. If I give 0, it will round it off to the nearest integer. If not, if you want to keep the decimal places, but maybe 2 decimal places if I want to keep, I can specify that. Did you understand round down, round up, and round? Did everybody understand that? And now, Things like are the given values even? Are the given values odd? Such things, if you want to find out, you can do that. So here, information does that. Is even. So if it is even, it will be true for those. Wherever it's not even, it will be false. This is true, this is false. That's what, again, an inbuilt function that you have there. You can also do the same for odd. What are even and odd numbers? Even numbers are divisible by 2 or are the multiples of 2. And odd numbers, they're not divisible by 2. That is, there will be a remainder. The remainder will not be 0. They're not the multiples of 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on are even numbers. 3, 5, 7, 9 are all odd numbers. So here, if it's odd, so wherever there is, now here, mod is 0 if it's even numbers. Yes, exactly. If it's positive, this is sign, positive, negative, to select that. Okay. So you can do that. We don't have any negative numbers here, so that's why you're not getting any zeros. All of them are positive. Okay. Did you understand number column? Can I go to the date columns, number column tools, text column tools? Is it clear to everybody? Right. Now what we will do, we will go to in sales transactions only, I think we have dates, date, order date. But if you notice, it's not changed to date, changed date data type. Change it to date. Again, in your system, it might not look exactly how it looks in mine because it is how my system settings are. It comes as 12th July 25. That's why here I'm getting these. Somebody was getting confused because of this last week. I don't remember who, but then this will be based on how it is in your system. But we can change that here in the output. How do we want to look at it? We'll do some date functions on this. So for working on date and time column, we have to make sure that we are using the data type of that given column is date. If the data type is not correctly given, you cannot perform the date functions on that. Okay, let's select this. Age. Age is from the current, what is the local date and time right now? From that, what is the value in this order date? I'll add a duplicate column here. How to check data type? Data types are given here in this. Sure. Yeah. Here, detect data type is given, right? So, however, Power BI detects the data type as soon as we load the data set. Okay. Do you see here ABC is numeric? When you see a calendar type, you see that is your date. When you see 1.2 or so, that is decimal. We did that last week. Also, if you want it to detect it by itself, it will detect it. If you click on the column, here another option is there, data type. Other than looking at the icon, if you want to see, it is given data type. If I go to this one, it will tell me it's a decimal number and so on. Now in this, I created a column. So yeah, this is the copy. So now if I click on age, this is giving me how many days have passed in total. When I clicked on age, from 24th November 2023 till today's date, these many days have passed. Are you understanding this? Now, what if, you might say, what if I don't want the number of days? I want years, I want months. So do you see the data type of this has changed here? This is called as duration. And in the date time column, do you see duration? You can click on that. This is giving me days. What if I don't want days? I want years. How many years have passed? how many, again, this is changed, you can change it to duration. Okay, you can also change it to hours, minutes, seconds. That'll be too many, isn't it? But yeah, you can change it to that. Ages from given. Age when you're selecting, it is from this date to the given, to the current local date. What is the date today? How many days have passed? How many years have passed? You can select that. Okay. Did you all understand this? What are we doing in this? Age, what is age doing? Did you understand? You want me to explain again? Anyone? This is the given date of that given particular order. So let's say if some customer comes to you, these are years apart. So let's say if it is from a current date only. I'll give you from a current date example. This is a different data set. I'll get all these data sets uploaded. Don't worry about it. Okay. Now here in this cafe sales, this is the most recent one that I have. If you look at this, order date and time. Change type to date time. Do you see this? This column order date and time. So I'm going to just duplicate it from, again, there are too many of them. Okay, let's still do it. Okay, from this given date till today, what is the, or let me do this. Now have a look at this. Do you see this? These are the most recent dates. 2nd July 25. It's exactly like our age, yes, from the given, from when it was added to the database. So this order that we received, Sairam, this order that we received, it was on 2nd July 2025. From 2nd July till today, how many days have passed? 10 days? That is what I should get in the output. If I select age, okay. Okay, 9 days and a few hours based on the time also. There is time also given in this, if you notice. 9 days and 23 hours, 37 minutes, 22 seconds. That's how much time has passed since then. If you don't want all that, if you want only the days, these many days have passed. Okay, does that explain, Sairam? Are you able to understand the date? What is age in this? Let's look at for each order. So this is for 2nd July, 1st July, and so on. And this will increase based on the time that has been, you know, there from the date of order till today. Probably some customer comes to you and says, I have, maybe for returns, in case of there are some returns, and you have a 10-day return policy for something that you are selling. And they come back to you and they say that I bought it on this day, and you want to just check when did they buy it. So if it is less than 10 days, you might want to accept the return, otherwise you don't. In such cases, these might be important. Calculating the age. What else can you do in this? Let's see what else can we do. We are just extracting it, okay? From this, there is an entire timestamp given. What is the meaning of timestamp? Where you have the date, the full date, day, year, day, month, and year. And then you also have hours, minutes, and second. When did the transaction take place? 2nd July 25, 4:08 p.m. So this is an entire timestamp. So from that, I want to extract only the date. You can select date only. It will give you only the date. You want to extract year only. You can extract the year. You want to extract month only. You don't want this, you want the name of the month. You can extract that. Everything that's given, that's exactly as it is. So see, start of the month. What was the start of the month? Returns the first day. So read it. Returns the first day of the month corresponding to each date and time value. Okay. In that month, okay, July, 2nd July 25, when the sale was happened, what was the first day of that month? It will give it to you here. Okay. Not very useful in the data cleaning scenario, but you can extract that also. Week. Which week of the year was that? Which day of the year was that? Day of the week also you can get it. Name of the day. What was the name of the day? This is again an important feature. Day of the week. Name of the day if you want. What was the day on that day? You can do that also. Is this extraction? Are you all following? Are you all following this? Okay. We know all this. Again, like I always say, we are just seeing how to do it in this. What was the earliest sale? When I do earliest, look at this. If I'm looking at this, earliest can only be one, right? What was the first sale maybe? When did the first sale happen? And this, if I go to time, and if I click on earliest, I'll get the first sale that ever happened. 1st Jan 23, 6:20 a.m. What was the latest? So let me... Latest. 2nd July 25, 9:45. Here you have... You can also choose time. Time only from the given date if you want the time. So till now we were working with the date function. Now we are working with time. Extract only the time. Extract only the hour. Extract only the minute. Okay, this is for all the time functions. Did you all understand? Can everybody confirm if you have understood text, number, and date time column functions? I saw somebody's question asking about some financial. Do you know how can we convert calendar year quarter to financial year quarter? I mean, are you asking in Power BI? So in this case, we can use some conditional logic and we can do it because there is no direct function again. We will create a column with a conditional logic. So assuming that the financial year is starting in April. So you can specify from Jan to March, it is quarter 4. This will be of previous financial year. Then April to June, quarter 1, July to September, quarter 2, October to December, quarter 3. That's how you can do it. But when I use it in this, you'll understand it better. Again, there's no direct function that works here. Okay. Does that answer, Shraddha? Is that what you were asking for? If you think I did not understand your question, feel free to unmute yourself and ask me the question. Here, you can see run R and run Python. If you have Python and R scripts, you can do that. For example, in Python, I'll use pandas to some, what do you say? EDA, perform any EDA on that particular data. So I can run that script over here. R also helps with that data cleaning and everything. R is mostly used for stats related concepts, but it helps us with EDA also. So you can run, if you have a script like that, you can run it. That is used for that here. But these are, again, we won't be working on this much because we are going to work on Python separately. We're going to have Python as a separate module. Okay, so we can go as per that. Is everybody clear with everything in transform? We did home, we covered home, we also covered what's in transform. We will need to get quarter first and then replace values. You have to define what's a quarter, Shraddha. In this case, you cannot, okay, you see, you can extract, okay. This is how you will extract the quarter. And this is assuming it will not give you previous financial year, current financial year. You have to give it. Now here you got all the quarters. This, wherever there is 3 in this, it will be changed. You can decide which financial year it belongs to. So based on that, you can change it. I'll add a conditional column which gives me that from January to March. Consider that as a previous financial year. And from this year, so that will be like the last quarter of previous financial year, January to March, and all the conditions. I'll show you. You can then let me know if that's exactly what you're asking for. Okay, all right. What we will do now, we will go for a quick 10 minutes break. We'll come back and we'll see the add column function. So whatever we missed last week, we have covered now. Okay, now in this, we will start with these. We have done fill up, fill down. So that's not much we have to do from. We have to do add columns. That's what we will do. And we will see these view options that we have, and we'll directly go to data modeling. Introduction to DAX we will start tomorrow, and all the DAX we will do it tomorrow. Yes, by default it is set to Jan to March as the starting months. Okay, all right, let's go for a quick 10 minutes break. We'll come back and we'll do the rest of it.
Yeah. Okay, guys, let's go for a short 10 minutes break. Yes, okay, guys, welcome back from the short break. So, Abid, over to you.
Thank you, Ravi. I hope everybody is back from the break. Can you all confirm in the chat? Can you all hear me? I would need some responses. Yes, thank you for replying. What we are going to do now, we are going to add columns to this. I hope everybody can see my screen now. So we have this add column ribbon, which we are going to use now. If there is any column that I want to add, how would I add it? There are different ways to do that. You can create some custom columns. Column from examples, custom columns. You can write functions. These are all inbuilt functions, right? So we can write our own functions as well. Conditional columns, index column, duplicate column. Rest everything is the same that we did over there. From text, if you want to do something for the numbers, for the date and time, everything that we did there, it's going to be the same. These are the few things that we need to learn now. Column from examples, let us say. In this one, let me go to the products. Okay, here I want to add a column. I'm using the same retail sales data set. I closed that coffee data set. I'm using the retail sales data set now. Now in this one, if I select column from example, okay, I can select one of the columns. See, if I click on this, you see two columns, from all columns or from selection. I can select one of those. Let's say, okay, let's consider it like this. I want to add a column which tells me should I give discounts for this product or not. And I am deciding that based on the category. So wherever there is stationery, I want to give discounts to them. Wherever there is stationery. Now for that, from the given column, from the given value, I want to take examples there. So I'll click from the selected columns, not from all the columns. Use examples and the current selection to create a new column. This is my current selection. If I select all columns, it will take up from all the columns and it will try to make sense of it. What is it doing here? So have a look. This is the category column that I have selected. We are creating this column, right? Now, what did I say? Wherever there is stationery, I want to give discount. You have to enter values. You can give anything. Okay, this is just a example that I'm seeing for electronics also. So if you see for the first few values when I give, it starts taking examples by itself. So now do you see wherever there is stationery, just when I gave it to one or two categories, by default it is taking up. The formula will be there, it will write by itself based on the example that we have given. Do you see? Wherever there is furniture, don't give discount. Stationery, give discount. The rest values, it is assuming based on the example that I have given. If I click OK, it creates a new column there. You can rename the column to I'll just rename some. Do you understand how did I create this column from example? You will give an example from the given already the tables that we have. Did you understand how did I do this? Explain once again. What else use can we see? If we have more options, it will be difficult to comment. Yes. Yes, Sairam, I'm explaining it once again. What I'll do here in the city column, I want to create a column called as region. Okay. But I want to give this as, only south, only for those which are south. For the others, I don't want to give any other option. Or probably a yes or no I'll give. Okay. I want to add yes to wherever there is Hyderabad, Chennai, and Bangalore. For the others, I won't add anything else in that column. So I want to create a column which helps me understand my target audience. Okay. Let's say I have some target audience in mind. Based on that, I want to target only those from Hyderabad, Chennai, and Bangalore. So I'll create a column called as target audience. And the target audience has to be my target audience is Hyderabad, Chennai, and Bangalore. So all the customers who are from Hyderabad, Chennai, and Bangalore, for them, I'll see a yes. Okay. For the rest, it will be a no. Do you understand what I'm trying to do here? Creating a column. You can do that as conditional column also. There are different ways to do it. Okay. But this is just based on example. Power BI will select it as we are giving. I want to create a column where wherever called as target customers, and my target customers are only from Hyderabad, Chennai, and Bangalore. So using the city table, I'll create a column from example. I'll use from selection because I want to go as per the city column only. So I'll select from selection, and now it will ask me questions. This is city. So here, Mumbai. Is it a yes? No, because that's not my target customer. Chennai, I'll say yes. So after this, it will start assuming. Okay, wherever we have given Chennai, it will give yes. Wherever we have given Mumbai, it will give no. But there are some more values I need to tag, isn't it? So Mumbai, again, it is no, which is correct. Hyderabad, I'll just mark it as yes. And Delhi, I'll mark it as no. And there is Bangalore, it is taken as yes. Okay, so do you see? The others, if I'm marking, tagging a few columns, a few rows in the beginning, by default, it takes for the others. But we have to review. Like Nitin mentions, if we have more options, it will be difficult. Yes, it will be difficult. If we have more values to take it from the columns. Example, if we are looking for product IDs or customer IDs, and we're trying to do it based on customer IDs, every value will be different and it will be difficult. So it is preferable for column from examples when we are doing, if I take it as categorical column, mostly it is good. Okay. So then if you see all the values are marked, I can mark it as okay. This is target audience based on city. Okay, so wherever there is Chennai and Bangalore and Hyderabad, it gives yes. For the rest, it gives no. Okay, did you all understand? Do you want to do it? Sairam, did you understand? Can we again edit it? Yes, you can again edit it. Column from example from the given selection. Yes, you can do it on numerical data also. Think of a use case for numerical data. Let's look at products. You can also drop the column by the You can click on remove and that column gets removed. So wherever there is unit cost, based on that, if I want to do column from examples, from the selection, wherever there is anything above 200, I'm going to call it costly. Okay. The rest, I'll name it as affordable. So it will try to write a condition by itself. Do you see? By default, it has taken up all the values, all those above 200, but for some, it's still reading it wrong. So anything above 200 is going to be costly. Again, if there are too many values, it will be difficult to put. See, because there are too many different values here, it takes time to read it. You might have to add to more than one. See, now it has taken it correctly. Okay, so just click on OK. So you can do it on numerical data also, but if there are many values, you will have to add more examples. You have to give it more examples so it can come up with a condition. Now, do you see here? There is a condition it has written by itself. Okay, this is a formula that it has given by itself. We did not give this formula, but we just gave it examples. So it wrote the formula for us. Did you understand column from examples now? Did everybody understand it?
But this formula is wrong, right? See, else if it is greater than or equal to 106, it has mentioned, then affordable. It should be
You
less.
can correct that. You can either correct it from here or see, it cannot take exact values, right? Because we gave it examples. So we will be able to give conditions by ourselves also. We will do that also. But here it has come up with a logic based on the examples that we have given. So it cannot be exactly accurate, right?
Okay,
So
but then
it cannot
how is
give
this
above.
row number in 19 calculated? It has value as 49. Now 49 doesn't fall in both of if and if else category. So how does it is given as row number 19?
This is the entire formula. Else
Okay.
affordable. Do you see it has given else affordable?
Okay.
Wherever we
I
have
will-
given costly, it is giving costly. Okay.
Okay. So if we like some if desirable things are not coming, like instead of going to each column and writing, can we directly modify this formula?
Oh, that is better to do it. You don't do it like this. Don't do based on this. See, this is usually for yes or no kind of questions. If we have something like I give you give discount or don't give discount, or maybe the target customers, yes or no, such things. If I want, I can do it. But like you mentioned, where did I do it? I did it in products, right? So here. You can directly edit it and press enter and it will work. But when we are giving some conditions, like conditional columns, you will be able to give conditions by yourself also. That we will do now. Column, for example, is column from example is something that we can come up with. For example, here, the launch date. I'll remove this one now. Let's try with the launch date. So wherever I know there is a direct function that I can use to extract only date, right? I can extract only year, month, or so from this. But instead of that, I want to create a column. So here, this is just if in case if you're not able to come up with a formula. Do you see? Now it will give you accurate because it has an idea of what exactly are we trying to do. So this you can select based on that. Although the month name function is already there, but what am I doing? I am giving it using column from example. Does that explain, Prachi?
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Okay, that's for this. You can go for custom function also. Now, what is custom function? You are writing a formula there. Let's look at the sales transaction table. For example, if I did not have this column called as total amount, let's say there is no column total amount. What do I have to do to get the total amount? What should I get to do? I mean, don't think about it in calculations. Yes, quantity into unit price. That's what I have to do. Multiply quantity with unit price to get the total amount. Okay, so That is how I'm going to create a column now. I'm adding a column based on custom column. Now I'm going to call it as total amount. Custom formula. So what do I want to do? I want to multiply quantity. Insert. Multiply it with unit price. Insert. Okay. Do you see? No syntax errors have been detected. Click on OK. There is a column called as total amount created. Did you understand this? Now it did not detect a data type for it. Do you notice? So you can either ask it to detect a data type or you can also change it to that data type. Did you understand this custom function and column from example? Okay. Now let's see some more examples. This one I'll tell you in a while. Okay, invoke custom function. You have to write a function for yourself. You need to go here. You need to create a new query. I'll help you with that. Okay, just in a while. We'll first see these. I'm going to add a new column with this conditional column now. Click on conditional column. Now that if else options are there. What is if else? If you have certain conditions, wherever, let's say I want to create a column which tells me that the high purchase order, okay, something like that, wherever the amount, the total amount is more than 3,000 or more than 5,000, because I see multiple values here, right? More than 3,000 or more than 5,000, probably call it a high purchase order or a medium purchase order or a low purchase order. Okay, low amount order, anything you want to name it. So categorize purchases, I'm going to call it purchase categories. Okay, the new column that I'm creating, I'm calling it as purchase category. If the column name is total amount, total amount is not equal to, let's say if the total amount is greater than 5,000, then I'll call it high amount order. I'm going to add more clauses. If the total amount is greater than or equal to 3,000, not 3,000, let's say 2,000. That will be anywhere below 5,000 and more than 2,000, or more than 3,000 or anywhere below 5,000 it will go till, because I've said greater than 5,000 it will make it high amount order. Greater than 3,000 I'm calling it as anything other than that, anything less than 3,000 I'm going to call it as low amount order. Okay. Okay, in this it's not necessary to give those codes. Without those codes also it will work. Okay, so anywhere where it is more than 3,000, do you see? It's medium amount order. Anywhere if it is more than 5,000. There's no more than 5,000? Yes, there's no more than 5,000. There's no more than 5,000. That's why we're not getting a high amount order. So you can edit this. You can edit it from here, probably change the number. Change it to okay. If I change it to that, I changed it from here, edited it from here, from the formula bar. I changed that 5,000 to 4,000 because there were no values more than 5,000. Now, if you see here, I'm getting high amount orders also. Ask it to detect this. So wherever there is high amount order, more than 4,000. Medium amount, that will be below 4,000 and more than 3,000. Anything other than that is a low amount order. Okay. That is giving conditions. You can give any conditions. For example, in the products also, if I gave this one, right, the month name. So for these also, you can give the conditions. For category, you can give it for anything. Do you all want to try one? I would say try one. Let's look at one of the tasks if we have something which you can do with that. Oh, you'll have to load a different table. Can we give two conditions in a single if-else clause? No. If you're talking about nested ifs, it's not there in this. But you can give something like between. Here, yes, between is also not there. So in this you cannot give it, but nested if is what you're talking about, right, Vivek? If and you're talking about if not this. In that case, you can go for nested ifs, which is not there for this one. But when we do DAX again, you'll be able to write that one. Again, remember, what are we doing in query editor? We're only cleaning the data. We are not actually making any changes to our. So here, do you want to load this table? We have a superstore data set. I would say do that. Okay. Download this data set. Task assignment data set is there. Go to the LMS because it's just me who's doing it. Are you all practicing along with me? How many of you are doing it along with me, or you're not doing it along with me, right? So I would say do it. I mean, no, when I ask you to, so just download this task assignment dataset. In week 2, you have task assignment dataset. Click on task assignment dataset, click on file, and you can save this file. Okay, save this file to your desktop, to your system. You'll be able to download it. Download this data. So you also have the option to download here directly, I guess. Yeah. Just download it directly, load it on your Power BI, and you will do the first task that is given. In fact, you can do the second task also. First and second task. Read the first and second classwork tasks and do it. So that I can confirm if you all are actually able to do it. Were you all able to download the dataset and load it on your Power BI? Okay, you have loaded it. Just work on this first one. Check which table has discount category. You have to create this. Which table has discount? There are three tables in that. You have returns, you have orders, and yes, in orders you have discount. Create this based on conditional column. That's a conditional column you are creating. In column name, discount is not showing by using conditional column. I have you selected the correct table. So when I'm doing it over here, Kaushik, I'll select that category and I'll click on conditional column. Here, you're creating a new column name. In this, it will show you the value. Okay, which column name do you want to take up? It will definitely be there if you're using the correct, if you're on the correct table. Here on, do you see the queries? You should be on the, what do you say, orders table only on the left side. Can you check that if you're doing it, Kaushik? The orders. It's not showing here, is it? It's the last one. If you're scrolling down, are you not able to scroll down with this? It is there here, right? Can you see my screen, Kaushik? How many of you are done? Both the tasks? Task 1 and task 2? How did you medium discount in if condition? Here you will add up another one. You have add clause, right? You will add another add. For the last one, you will give in else. Multiple conditions, you can keep on adding clauses. Does that answer, Rajkumar? But we need to give range from 0.1, that how given. So in that, less than, for that, you cannot use anything for between. You will give from 0.1 to 0.3, right? So greater than or equal to 0.1, less than or equal to 0.3. Are you getting it? You get the option of discount instead of this greater than or equal to. You will give, let's say, what was the first option that you have given? Let's look at this. Greater than 0.3. So you will give greater than 0.3. And for this one, we are calling it as
High
high
discount.
discount. For the next one, in the discount only, here it is between 0.1. This one you will give greater than. Here, if you see, the last one is less than 0.1, right? So just give greater than. Greater than 0.1. So anything above 0.3, however, it is giving as high discount. When you are giving greater than this, greater than 0.1, this you are giving it as medium discount. So here, it will not go above 0.3 because before above 0.3, we have given this high discount. This will be medium discount. So this values will be between 0.1 and 0.3. Okay, there
Yeah.
is there is no point for this. Here at the end, just add anything other than that is low discount.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, what was the name? Discount category. That's all. Also, we can say less than 0.01 is low and rest is medium. Yes, you can do that, Damini. Done the first task. Anybody done with the second task too? Sejal is done with both. Ajay is done with both. Okay. I see if you are done with only the first one, let me know. In discount, negative values are not there, Kaushik. Negative values are there in profit. If there are negative values in profit, then it is a loss. Okay, and discount, it's not there. Done with both. I see Rajkumar is also done. Anybody who is not able to do both the tasks? Done with both. All right, that's great. So I just wanted to check that if everybody is actually following. Now, index column is just we want to add an index here. Okay, for this table, I want to just add an index. So you see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It just gives an index. There is no other use. You're just adding a column called as index. You will add it before this. Okay, you can specify whether you want to give it started from 0 or started from 1. How will we extract date from example column? What do you want in the date? So in this case, in the let's try to change it. Date. How do you want to specify the date? Maybe instead of this, you want to specify it in certain way. See, as soon as you start writing the date, it gave me so many options. I want it to print it like you can give those examples. Anything, it can be anything. So there is no expected output for this. So you can print it as you want it, okay? Now do you see? It's just giving you all the options that it can. Okay, it's actually like this. The first one here is the date and it's the month, but it's taking it wrong. So you can change it. So 12/06. Now do you see? It just read it all correctly. So you've just extracted a date or given a different format to the date based on how you want it. Okay? Does that explain, honey? Now in this, what else can you do? Index column, did you all understand? If I give index column, it just gives the indexes. What is an index? In a table of content, let's say you read a book. In that book, in the table of content, you have lesson number 1, 2, 3, 4. In any table that we write, we have certain and ID columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, all those things will be written. Okay, so all those things, that is your index column. I want to create an index column starting from 0. So it gives this. If you don't want one with the 0, you want one with 1, starting from 1. Index columns are usually in the beginning, so give it in the beginning. Duplicate column, using one column, you will just duplicate. From here also, we are however duplicating it, right? It's the same thing, just duplicate it. That's what it will do for us. Yes, that is what I'm coming to, Saira. So we are done with all of these. Did you understand all these? There is something as invoke custom function. For doing this invoke custom function, we need to first create one. Index, it's kind of a serial number. Yes, Rakeshwar, that's exactly what it is. You have to create a custom function and then you will do it. This one, okay? You cannot directly work on this. So we will come back to this when we do. See here, you have to write a blank query and then you have to go to this and click on invoke custom function. There is a function that you would have created. That is the one you will use. But what does it exactly do? All of these that we are showing, all the functions that we are showing here, these functions are, let's look at these. These are by default, isn't it? Extracting the date, performing the sum, aggregate, minimum, maximum, all those things. By default, it is already stored. These are inbuilt functions. The same way, I want to write a function by myself. Okay. In that case, I'll use invoke custom function. But before you invoke that custom function, a custom function that you would have created, there will be multiple functions if you create those multiple functions. So you will create those functions. How will you create them? You will go to this blank query. You will, I'll just rename it some. Okay, this is a custom function created. We have to go to the advanced editor. This is called as M language. Here you have to specify what exactly are you trying to write. Okay, your function. Now let's come up with a function. Think of a function. Like maybe I want to, like how I gave those, what can we think of? Greater than 100 called as high order, or less than 100 called as low orders, right? All those things you can specify. Or maybe I also want to specify it as multiplying quantity and multiplying this. So there are certain things that come up in this formula. That is something I want to do when we start with DAX. So you can write the function in this, a function that you are creating by yourself. And that function that you create can be used in this invoke custom function. Okay, when we start DAX, I'll help you understand these formulas because we will be writing a few formulas in that. You'll be able to relate with these custom function formulas in that way. Okay, so when we start with DAX, I will help you with this also. All right, but what are you actually doing? You're creating a function by yourself. Sum by default it does. If I'm selecting a column, by default it does the sum of it if I want. Right? Instead of this, we want to create a function of ourselves. That is what we can create in this. We can use an invoke custom function. But for using this, we have to create a function by ourselves. We will create that and then we will do it. Okay? Is that fine with everybody? We'll do it in the upcoming week for sure. User-defined functions, yes. If you know that, and if you have used any other programming language, it's like a user-defined function. If you have used SQL, if you know something called a stored procedure. So this is something that you are creating a function and then you are using it. But we will do it in the coming week. All right, let's do some other options also now. These in add column, these were the new things that you had to do. Going to view. We'll go to view. Here in this view, you have different things that you can do. Let's here you're able to see this column quality. This I showed you in the beginning when everybody asked, we are not able to see that error or correct values, all those things. So see, valid, empty, error. For this, you have to just click on column quality. Show white space. If there are any white spaces, if you want them to show. How do you want the font to be? If you remove this, it'll not be monospaced. Otherwise, if you want it like this, it can print it like this. Column distribution, it will give you the graph. How many distinct and how many unique values are there. Column profile. Column profile, you can see that column profile based on, say, based on the 1,000 rows, based on the entire data set. How do you want it to be? I want it based on entire data set, so I can select that. In this, for now, it's just this advanced editor again, it is the same for when we write the formulas. Okay, what formula will we write for this? The custom function formula. So these are the formula for the products table. If I click on this custom function, we did not write any, but we can write a formula for this. Like I said, formula I'll tell you as we go ahead. There are a few more things we can learn now, that is data modeling. But let's start with everything from tomorrow. It will be pretty simple. Okay. Is it okay if I extend the session for probably 10-15 minutes more? Ravi, do they have another session?
Yes, sir, but you can extend. It is at 3 p.m.
Okay, all right. So what we will do, we will start with this data modeling. We'll understand what this modeling is. We'll understand what cardinality is and filter. Okay, but are you all clear with what's there in this query editor other than invoke custom function? Okay, this is something we will do it as you go ahead. This, you won't have any tasks based on this. So any tasks that are there from week 1, you can do all of them. From week 2, you'll be able to do all of them without this. Okay. As I start with DAX, I'll show you. If tomorrow probably we'll be able to do these also. So we will cover everything in that. Let's go to data modeling. So here, what did we do till now? In this one, I'll delete this for now. And in this, we have all the tables that we were using. I'll remove the extra tables that we created. Yeah. These are all the tables that we have. So we are done with the query editing. When we are done with cleaning our table, we'll go back to our desktop, Power BI desktop. After we come to this, we'll come to the model view. Do you see model view over here? The data is not uploaded yet. Okay, we are not in query editor anymore. We are back at desktop. After I have cleaned the data set, I did not save it yet. So how will I save it? By clicking on apply changes. If I click on apply changes, then I'll be able to see a table over here. So do you see now it is loading? Now the data is loaded and you will see different tables over here. Do you see different tables over here? Okay, all the tables will be related to each other. Customer table, I don't see a relation. We can create that. I'll show you how to create it also. But before we understand all these, we need to understand two different types of schemas. There is something called as star schema and there is something called as snowflake schema. Okay. There are again, if we are talking about the star schema and snowflake schema, we also need to talk about something, dimension tables and fact tables. Fact tables and dimension tables, these are two things that you need to remember. Now, what are fact table and dimension table? Remember them as a simpler way to remember them. Fact tables will have sales, profits, or discounts, all these type of data. For examples, fact tables are your orders tables. Orders, sales, transactions. By now, did you all understand that a data set can have multiple tables? In the retail sales tables, we had multiple tables. We had product, we had sales transaction, we had customers, all of these, right? So wherever there is sales transaction, wherever there is orders, all those are your fact tables, mostly numbers which you calculate. The tables which can help you understand, I would say, remember it like this, that helps you understand how the sales have been, how many orders have you have received, what is the amount of the orders that you have received, what is the total amount or the total sales you have made till now from the beginning. All those things you can find out in the orders table. Same thing you can find in the transaction table. Okay, that's exactly what fact tables will be. Now, what are dimension table then? Something that is defining customer, customer information, product information. Okay, such things if you have, those are your dimension tables. Do you understand difference between fact and dimension tables now? No? Okay. So Kaushik, in fact tables, you have anything related to sales, or let's say I have a students database. In this case, in our case, let's say there is a student database. I have all the students details. Okay, students details can be, what will I have in students details? student ID, student name, contact number, address. All these things I'll have in students details. I'll have an instructors table where I'll have the instructor ID, instructor name, contact, all those things again in this. But there will be another table, that is scores table. Okay, in this I'll get student ID, or let's say this is a performance table, how the student's performance is. Student ID, along with that I have their attendance percentage, I have their scores, module wise scores, things like that. This is helping me judge the performance of the students. This is the details of the people. Are you understanding the difference between these tables, Kaushik? Wherever you are able to determine the performance, that is a facts table. And wherever it's just information, that is a dimension table. Does that explain now? And does that explain everybody else? Similarly, if I give you different values, there won't be any multiple fact tables, Sushma. There is a possibility, but mostly it is not. For example, you have some tables where you have orders, orders from customers, but in this orders, I don't have the amount related details. Okay, I have only order ID, customer who have placed that order. I have the product IDs that they have bought. I have the order date. I don't have anything amount in this. I have customers table, which will have customer data. Then I have products table. Unit prices. Let's say I have cost price and selling price. But this still is not my facts table. Why? Because this is still the information of the product only, right? It's not telling me, did I sell it or not? I have named it, I have given it a price, I have bought it for some price, but I did not sell it yet. Next, let's say I have a table called as order details. In this also I have order details, order ID, quantity purchased. I will also have product IDs, unit price, total price. Out of this, now tell me which are my fact tables and which are my dimension tables. Which is my fact table here? There's no fact table, Damini? Orders or order details? Order details, because that is telling me for each order what was the product sold, what is the quantity did they purchase, what is the unit price of it, and how much did we sell it for. So total price, total amount received, we are talking about how much did you receive there. So this is your fact table. The other all are dimension, because everything else is just giving you the details. Just because in the name I added details, that does not mean that it is a dimension table. Look at the values inside that. You will be able to judge, looking at that table, you will be able to judge how is the business doing. Remember that. Probably you will also have a profit column. You will also have a discount column. Okay. You have all those things in that. Are you able to understand the difference between fact and dimension tables now? Everyone. Based on this, we will decide. Now, on this, can you also understand that all these tables, okay, I need to add the customers table also in this to just check which customer has bought it. Now, notice one thing. Do you agree with me that every other out of these three tables, all are related to orders table? When I say that, I'll be able to find out which customer placed the order. I'll be able to find out what was the order from which I'm getting these details, what was the product. I'll be able to connect all these tables. It's like a common column between them. You remember for merging, we need common column. Do you remember that? So this table can be joined with all the other three. Can I join orders with products? I cannot do that. Can I join orders with, not orders, customers with products? No, but this is the only table which can be joined with every other table. So the fact table will be connected to all the other tables. How will it be connected? That is where your schema design comes into picture. Have a look at this. This I'm taking the example of our retail data set table. Okay, something similar to that. I have a table called as sales transaction. That is my fact table. It will be related to all the others table: country, customers, city, products, address, regions, date. It will be related to all the other tables. If you want to take exactly the example of this only, you have customers, products, regions. Let's just add those. Okay, now all the other tables will be related to this, right? Do you agree with me? Product IDs will be there in sales transaction, customer ID will be there in this, date will be there in this, and region will also be able be there in this. Now, this is why in this case, this is a star schema. Have a look at this one. Just look at the star part for now. Do you see sales is related to every other table? Because it resembles a star, it is called as a star schema. Okay, the fact table is related to all the other dimension tables. Fact table is only one, and that is related to all the other dimension table. And there are only one dimension tables other than this. So this products table is not further divided to any other table. This customers table, it's not further divided to any other table. It's not happening like that here. If you see, they are just okay, they are just one point. They are ending here. They are ending at this customer. It's not further divided into any other tables. So that is why it is called as a star schema. Only one fact table. To that, one dimension table only. This dimension table does not have any other dimension tables. Is it clear till here? Only this part. I'll tell you how is it different from a snowflake schema. This is the star schema. You need to understand this data modeling, because as we go ahead and when we are creating the visualizations, I need to understand, can I filter out, maybe I want to filter out customers in this sales transaction. I'll be able to filter out sales transaction based on customers. Filter out means I want to see the sales transactions or the orders placed by customer ID 1. Customer ID 2. Can I filter out sales transaction based on customers? Can I filter out sales transaction based on products? Right? So which product was bought more? In which region were more sales done? On which date were more sales done? This part that I'm showing you, that is called as cross filter direction. It's a single cross filter direction. It will be like this in the data model also. Cross filter direction is single. Okay, because can I filter out products based on sales transaction? Products based on sales transaction. Go to the products table, that is, and then try to find out if they were sold more. I'm not talking about a merge table or anything. Let's look at this one. If I go to the products table, looking at this table directly, can I find out how the sales were done in the products here? Can I filter these out based on sales transaction? No. Customers. Looking at the customers table, can I find out which customer bought more products? No. So based on sales transaction, I cannot filter out customers. But based on customers, I can filter out sales transaction. That is cross filter direction. Based on region, I can filter out this I can filter out, and so on. Do you understand cross filter direction? In some cases, like the superstore data that you are using, in that database, it will be multi-directional. That is, based on sales transaction, I can filter out products. Based on sales transaction, I can filter out customers. Based on customers, also I can filter out this in case of a multi-directional. But this is a unidirectional, a single directional one. Okay, this is the cross filter direction, and this is unidirection, that is single direction. I'll pause here for a while. A few things that I explained you right now is star schema, fact table, dimension table, and cross filter direction. These three things, did you all understand? Everyone. We need to understand it theoretically, then I'll show you how to model it on Power BI also. Can you all confirm if you've understood this part? Anybody who's not understood, feel free to ask me again. Now, if I go to another table, look at this table. What do you see here? Sales transaction is there. Product is there. Not understood, says Sairam. Sairam, I'll explain it again. Just give me a moment. I'll finish this snowflake and I'll explain you the star schema again. Okay? Now, focus on this one for now. Based on this, probably you'll understand that as well. There are different tables that I have here, Saira. Okay? I have sales transaction table, products, customers, date, and region. Again, the same that I gave here. Right? Again, the same here. But in the customers table, I don't have the customers' addresses. I have a different table for customer address. And then in the address table again, I don't have any country details. For that, I have a separate table again, and again another table for city. Ideally, when we write the address, we should be giving everything in the customer table only, isn't it? Address, country, city. But it's not that. I have it in all different tables. That is, in customer, I'll have only address ID. And then I'll relate it with the address table. This address table does not have country and city details. There are further separate tables. So do you understand there are more dimensions in this? Of one dimension table, there is another dimension. And to that dimension, there are two more dimensions here. Are you all understanding this? Sales transaction has a customer because customers have placed that order. I need the addresses of the customers to send them out their orders. For that, they are related to the address table. And the address table does not have country and city. For that, there are some other tables. So this will further split into different dimensions. And that is why it is called as a snowflake schema. Do you see here? Sales, product is there. Product is further divided into category table. I mean, in the product table, directly category is not there. There is another table which has category. And there is another table which has brand. To show you the example, I have a database, but I have it in a different tool. Don't get confused with this. I'm just showing you the model, the data model. Give me one moment. I'll just connect these and I'll give you what that is. Now have a look at this. When we have different payments from customers, just focus on these 4 tables. Okay, don't look at anything else. Just focus on these 4 tables. Customer, address, city, and country. I don't have in customers table only, I don't have all the customers' addresses and everything. Customers table is related to address table with the address ID. So this dimension table has another dimension table called as address. This address table has another dimension called as city. Again, that city has another dimension called as country. So all this information is not present in one place. For this also, for this kind of schema, it is called as a snowflake schema because it has one dimension table. There is not just one dimension. It does not end at this dimension. This is further divided into more dimensions. That is why it resembles like a snowflake going ahead. It is split into more dimensions. That's why it's a snowflake schema. A star schema will end at this dimension. This is the end node of the dimension. It is not further split into more tables. Now, did you understand, Sairam and everybody else, the difference between star and snowflake schema? Yes or no? In the star schema, Sairam, that does not happen. This is the last node of it. Sales transaction, customers, sales transaction, products, sales transaction, region, and date. That's all. And cross filter direction, did you all understand? Based on products, I can filter out sales transaction. Based on customers, I can filter out sales transaction. Date, I can filter out sales transaction. Regions also, I can filter out. Cross filter direction in schema, that's all about it. Now, if you go ahead, there are cardinalities. For now, cardinality, we'll leave it. Tomorrow morning, first thing I'll show you cardinalities. Have a look at this. This sales transaction is my this fact table. And products and regions and customers, these are all my dimension tables. How to connect this to sales transaction and what is cardinality, I'll show you first thing tomorrow. For now, let's just understand looking at these. Do you see this arrow? Is it like how I showed you? How is it showing you? It's showing you the single filter direction. Do you see cross filter direction is a single? So I can filter sales transaction based on products. Based on regions, I can filter sales transaction. This is a star schema. This will also be connected to this, and this will also, I'll connect it to this tomorrow and we'll see. Okay. We will do that data modeling in this database only tomorrow. But we are done with what is there in Power Query Editor, everything. The data cleaning part is done. We will start with data modeling. Star means many. So we didn't do the cardinality yet, right? So when we do cardinality, I'll explain you what are all this. One to many, many to many, one to one, many to one. Okay, we'll see all the cardinalities. So I'm going to stop here. Does anyone have any questions? You can do all the tasks and assignment, everything that was there in week 1 now. Okay, you must have skipped a few because we did not cover topics. So you can do all of those. And yes, you can stop at that. Week 2, after we are done with today's, we are actually done with today's. We did the classwork tasks. You can do the homework tasks also based on that. So there's actually nothing pending. Modeling, data modeling, and introduction to DAX, we can start with tomorrow and we'll complete most of it. Now, can you all confirm, are you clear with everything that was taught? Do you have any questions? All right. Yes, notes of Power BI are for the whole module. Why did we keep it like that is, it'll be difficult for you to navigate between different notes if we keep week-wise. So if it is in one single notes only, you can directly control F search for the topic and go to that topic and read about it. How to submit assignment task. Go to the assignment, attempt now, solve all this in your PBIX file, in Power BI. Save that PBIX file. Damini, you know how to save the PBIX file? Save that PBIX file. Zip it because it will not accept .pbix here, right? You know how to zip it? Just zip that file and submit it. These are all modes that it will accept. Or if you want to do it in a longer way, you can just take screenshots of what you have done, add it to a document and submit it. But the simplest way is to do it in Power BI, save that as PBIX file, zip it and submit. Okay. So that's all from my side, everyone. I hope you all could learn something from today's. Ravi, over to you.
Okay, Abid, I'll take it. So thank you all guys for attending the session, and thank you Abid for the wonderful session. So guys, today we have scheduled another session. It's a mentorship with alumni, which will start at 3 p.m. So have your lunch and refresh and try to join the session without fail. Okay. And as all you know that once we wind up the session, the feedback link will be live. So please do provide your valuable feedbacks. So 10 and 9 are considered that you are satisfied. So please drop a comment so that we'll improve. Okay. So thank you all and see you in the next live session. Thank you.